We know that Ember's going to be having a baby soon, and I've put together my Foal Kit. I was asked what items I put in my Foal Kit, which is essentially, it's just everything that we need so that way we're prepared for when the baby comes in case something were to go wrong, and also just basic care and needs. So we are gonna go through the Foal Kit. I'll show you guys everything that I have, and I'll explain what we would use everything for. Okay, so first, we are in Michigan, and we can have really chilly days into the beginning of June. The foal is expected relatively soon, but it should be a solid 10 degrees warmer by the time the foal gets here. But just in case, I have blankets. These are Amish-made calf blankets. So these are not full blankets. These are calf blankets. They're made by the Amish. It's real simple. It's, you know, they got leg straps and then a Velcro for the chest. These need to be taken inside and washed because we just pulled them off the calves a couple of weeks ago. So I do have a couple of different sizes. I just have to take them in and wash them. So I do have some blankets in case the foal is born and it's really chilly or it gets chilly. So that's one of the items I definitely need. Everything else I have assembled in this little box with a lid. That way I can keep everything together. It's all clean, it's all prepared, it's all ready. It can all stay in the barn until the baby is born. So let's dive into it. Okay, so, and this is what I have in my Foal Kit. I may still add some items yet. If somebody has an idea, you're more than welcome to leave me a comment if you think I should have something and I don't. Are you expecting a cookie? Okay, let's find a cookie. Hold on, where's your bag of treats at? Oh, there they are. Hold on. It is essential to feed the pregnant mother snacks and tell her that she's pretty. These are some German horse treats that we got in the wish list, and she loves them. They are kind of like, they're like a brownie. They're like a horse brownie, and they're molassesy, and she loves them, don't you? Of course you do, yeah. Okay, so this is my Foal Kit. Some people may have different things in here. I mean, it kind of depends on your region, also your facility, but this is what I have in mind. So I do have super bands in here. Super bands are pretty much, it's just so we have a rubber band. The rubber band would be used if the foal's umbilical cord didn't stop bleeding. So when the baby is born, you want them to just kind of lay there, let the baby get out, and leave the umbilical cord attached for as long as possible, just to keep that blood flow pumping to make sure that baby is healthy and has everything viable. When the mare stands up or when the foal moves away and that umbilical cord breaks, it is possible that the umbilical cord on the foal is going to bleed, like drip blood, or possibly, you know, even like maybe a little bit heavier than a drip, like a consistent little flow. So you would put a rubber band, around the umbilical cord to stop the bleeding. Vet wrap. This is going to be used to go around her tail. I do have an actual tail wrap, and then I'll pretty much braid up her tail, and I'll fold it all up, and then I'll wrap it up in vet wrap because I want her tail to stay clean, and I want it to stay out of the way. I don't need her tail in my way so I can't see what's going on the cameras and stuff. So vet wrap for her tail. Scissors. These are bandage scissors. I would use these in the event of a red bag delivery. A red bag delivery is when the placenta is coming out first and it will appear as a red bubble, and that's really bad. If you have a red bag delivery, it is important you get the foal out ASAP. So you have to cut it and you have to get the foal out, because if the placenta is coming first, the foal is being deprived of oxygen. So scissors are a big must. Banamine. Banamine is a pain reliever. This is to be given to Ember after she foals and after she passes the cleaning. So once she cleans and everything comes out, then she can be given Banamine to help relax her body, relax her muscles. Labor is hard. Whether it's a human, a horse, any species, labor is hard. So we're definitely gonna give her some pain reliever. So we keep that in here to be given after she foals and after she cleans. I've got some towels in here. These are just old towels from the house. Like, we use them on the floor in the bathroom when we get out of the shower. Just towels to help clean off the foal. You know, we don't know what could happen in labor and in delivery. She could tear a uterine artery and she could bleed out. Like, we don't know. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. It's just like the possibilities of labor. So if she is too weak or it's too stressful, labor's too hard on her, she can't get up, something's wrong, whatever. If I need to wipe the baby off, I gotta have clean towels so I can do so. So we got clean towels. Lamb nipples. Lamb nipples would go onto a clean pop bottle so I could feed the foal in the event that the foal is too weak to get up and nurse, or she's unable to get up so the foal and nurse. So if something is wrong, something goes wrong, and I need to be able to feed the baby, lamb nipples on a pop bottle. The good thing about this situation is Ember is very okay with people around her udder. So I would be able to milk her if necessary, if I had to, if I was able to. Ma'am, you had a cookie. And I would milk her into a container, put it into the bottle, and feed the foal. So these are 2 items you don't want to use, that you don't want to need to use. But you have to have them just in case. You know, where I live kind of in the middle of nowhere. I'm far away from a store. I don't have a lot of horse farms around me. So like my vet is about 40 minutes away with a truck and trailer. The emergency, really bad situation vet is over an hour and a half away by truck and trailer. So if something goes wrong, I need to be as prepared as possible here at home. So lamb nipples and bottle, but again, we don't want to use that. I'm trying to keep everything on my lid so it stays clean. Enemas. Why would we use an enema? When a foal is born, its first pass, its first bowel movement is really dark and really sticky and really firm. It's been holding it in for 9 months, 11 months, 10 months, whenever they started forming manure. But the whole point is you give them an enema and it helps them pass that first bowel movement. So enemas are important. And that's just for full comfort. It's really simple. It's just warm water that you push into the rectum. You give it a little bit of time and it just helps soften everything so that it can come out easier and it's just less stressful on the foal. Okay, Dawn dish soap. This is just regular boring Dawn dish soap. I am going to use this to clean her udder. So I'm gonna clean her teats. I'll probably do it sometime in the next week here, and then I'll do it again in a couple of weeks because the foal's gonna nurse. It's gonna suckle off of the teat ends, and you want to make sure that it's clean. You don't want to wait until her udder is completely full, swollen, and she's in pain and it's tender. And you know, like if you're a female, if you're a mother and you've breastfed your children, you'll understand that. So we're gonna use Dawn dish soap and we're gonna clean her udder a couple of times before the baby gets here, just to make sure she is clean and remove any bacteria, remove any buildup. You know, horses lay down in their own manure. They lay down in their pen. So we wanna make sure that her udder is clean. So Dawn dish soap. I have an extra syringe. It's really just pretty much for the Banamine in case I need it. I have more syringes and stuff around. pH test strips. These are regular test strips that you would get for your pool in the summer. And what we are going to test is we're gonna test her pH level and then also the hardiness level. So it's going to be like essentially, I think it's the calcium pretty much is what it is of her milk. Testing the pH level is gonna narrow down our birthing window. So when her pH level gets below a 6.5, baby is coming within like 3 days, typically. It's not very often they hold it for longer than a few days once they get down to 6.5. I did this with her when she was carrying Taz and it was like spot on. So definitely got some pool test strips. These were like 10 bucks. You know, it's, to me, I can't imagine having a pregnant mare and then not using these to narrow down the foaling window. Because once they get close, if you just take a pool test strip, you squeeze a drop or two of milk onto the strip and you just let it do its thing. And then you look at the color indicator on the bottle. It's gonna tell you what their pH level is. And it just works. Like I seriously think these are awesome. So definitely pool test strips. Let's see. These are sleeves. So these are veterinarian sleeves, and I'll put these back in the box. But these are shoulder sleeves. Let me get rid of one. So I got a couple here. It's literally a glove that you're going to put on. It's going to go all the way up to your shoulder. And again, this is an item that we don't want to use. So that item is for if a hoof is back, because the baby is going to come out hooves first, head on top of the hooves. And you want the hooves to be a little bit offset. They're not going to be even. They're going to be offset because one shoulder is going to pop through and then the other shoulder will pop through. And then the head's going to come out on top of the shoulders. If the baby is in the wrong position and the hoof is back, or if the head is back, or it could be that maybe the feet are coming together, which is bad because that'll get the shoulders hung up inside of her. So you got to pop one shoulder out and then get the other one to move. That's another item we don't want to have to use though, because if I have to put sleeves on, that means I have to go digging for a problem and I have to fix it. I had to assist with Taz's birth a little bit. She had stopped pushing with him, and I think it was a situation where his shoulders kind of got stuck in her a little bit, because once I applied tension and the shoulders gave, she pushed him out rest of the way on her own. So, and that's not something that intimidates me or makes me nervous. I grew up on a dairy farm, and I have helped birth thousands of cattle into this world. And I know cattle are not horses, but I guess the point is I'm not shy, nervous, or grossed out or icked out about getting shoulder deep in the back end of a critter, because sometimes they just need help. And when your vet is at least an hour away, you got to be willing to jump in and help them, because you may be their saving grace. You may be the difference between having a live mare or a dead mare, or having a live foal or a dead foal. So I don't mind doing it. My husband isn't going to mind doing it. We grew up in agriculture. We grew up seeing this, watching this, being a part of this. And if she needs my assistance, I'm absolutely going to jump in and help her. So I have sleeves in case I need. And I also have lube. So this is just standard livestock lube that they use to breed cattle with. This is the slippery stuff that you'll put the sleeve on, you'll take this and you'll put it all over the sleeve, and then nice and slow, in you go. But this will help you get in there and fix the problem should you have one. I didn't need a great big bottle of it, so my dad has cattle and he breeds cattle, he AIs them, which is artificial insemination. So I just went down and I got a bottle from him, so that worked out handy. Again, another item I don't want to have to use. The other thing that I could do with that we did with cattle is if she is having a hard time, look at your sour face. What? If she is having a hard time getting squeaky out, I can put some around the foal, like basically on the inside edge of her vulva, like all the way around. And it's just going to create a little bit more slick so the baby could slide out a little easier. So that's something I could do too. You don't really hear people talk about that or mention it, but it is like a good little trick if you just take, a handful, a palm full. If you, she probably wants another cookie. If you just, here. If you take a palm full of it and you just round on the inside, it's going to help everything slide out so much easier. So that's something too. Gloves, because when we are dealing with newborn baby, we want to be clean and not transferring bacteria. Foals are very susceptible to any type of infection. You hear a lot about joint infections in foals, and a lot of the time it is fatal. I feel like a lot of the time it's fatal, I guess. I don't hear too many success stories of foals that get an infection in their joint and come out of it. I mean, I know it does happen, but you hear bad outcomes more than you do good. So gloves are important to keep our hands clean. This is spray. It's like a disinfectant for the umbilical cord. So the umbilical cord is going to be fresh, and it'll dry up over time. So over, days or a week, it's going to dry up and it's going to fall off. But while it's there and while it's fresh, you need to, this is a wound and skin care fast acting spray, promotes healing, 24-hour protectant. So I'm gonna spray this on the baby's navel 2 times a day, minimum, maybe even 3. Pretty much anytime I'm out in the barn, I'm gonna spray both sides of the umbilical cord all the way around just to make sure that it stays clean. So that's a big one. And then also digital thermometer. This is my regular digital thermometer I use out in the barn. I use it on the horses all the time. Pretty standard and simple. The other things that we do have, we have a stethoscope that's nearby in case I need it. Ma'am, so aggressive. Sheesh, what? Huh? Other things that we'll do to keep her comfortable, we're gonna make sure that she has access to a bunch of water. We wanna keep her hydrated through it. The first bowel movement that she will have, the first pass of manure after the baby, is going to be hard on her. Like it'll be probably a little painful, might be a little difficult. So we'll make sure that we give her a mash just to help keep everything soft so she can pass her first bowel movement easier after baby. You know, we're gonna have a clean bucket also too. That's something obviously I can't fit in here, but we'll have a clean bucket because once she passes the cleaning, once that comes out, I'll gather it and I will put it into the bucket. So when my vet comes, and my vet will be here within probably within 24 hours, 36 probably at the most. But once my vet comes to do the after foaling checkup of the baby and of her, the vet will take the placenta, spread it out, and we're gonna make sure it's intact, make sure everything's there and nothing got left behind, because if anything gets left behind in her uterus, she'll be prone to infection. So we're definitely gonna wanna make sure that everything gets cleaned out. And pretty much we're just gonna check the respiratory rates for both of them, the heart rates, check the temperature, and just keep an eye on them. The first day of a foal's life is, I don't wanna say critical, but it is critical. You know, it's, bringing a baby into the world can be quite scary, and anything can go wrong, and you know, you just have to be as prepared as possible, and you have to have a lot of knowledge and know-how and be willing to handle it if something goes wrong. The first 3 to 4 days of a foal's life is delicate. You have to make sure that baby is up and eating. Did it pass urine? Is it passing its manure fine? How often is it nursing? Is the mare allowing the foal to nurse? I don't have any issues with her. I think she's gonna be just fine. But, you know, there are some mares that won't accept the foal. You know, so it's, once she gets closer here, she will be under around the clock surveillance. I've got 4 cameras in her foaling stall, and I'm able to put them up on my TV. So once we get close here, I'm gonna be watching her 24/7. I'm not gonna be getting a lot of sleep, but you know, it's part of it. And for the most part, I'm just gonna let her do it on her own. I'm only gonna intervene if she needs me. It's really important that she's able to do it on her own. Sometimes humans get involved a little bit too much with something that's natural for a species. And she's very comfortable with me, and I'm not concerned about me upsetting her in any way. But I definitely don't want to intrude. I want her to be able to have her baby, have her moment, and get to know her foal. She's not a protective, aggressive mother. At least she wasn't with Taz. I mean, she could be different with this one, but I really don't anticipate her to be. But I'm only gonna intervene if necessary. Shortly after she has the baby, I will be out here and I will get in and do an imprint on the foal. Imprinting the foal is basically touching absolutely everywhere on the baby, and I mean everywhere. Get your fingers all over, up and down. I definitely am an advocate for imprinting the foal. Touch them everywhere, get involved. To me, training starts the day they're born. Like, and I don't mean go throw a halter on them and all that jazz. No, like, you just have to get them used to human touch. So the baby's got to be touched all around the head, the ears, inside the ears, the nose, inside the nose. We gotta touch inside the mouth so the baby is comfortable with you going inside the mouth. under the tail, all over the entire body. I want to be able to touch that baby everywhere and not have it freak out. So, and that type of thing really starts, to me, it starts at birth or shortly after birth. I'm definitely going to let her do her job as a mom, but I'm not the owner that's going to sit there, kick him out to pasture, and then go grab the baby in 4 months. The baby will be handled daily. It's just what I'm gonna do. That's what I did with Taz. And I did make some mistakes with Taz, don't get me wrong. Like, this baby is not going to get any treats fed out of my hand until it's like 5, because we fed Taz a lot of cookies out of our hand when he was a baby. And he's a gelding, so he's gonna be mouthy, but he is so mouthy, he can't stop trying to check your hands or your pockets for cookies. So I definitely made some mistakes with Taz, and I learned from them. But that's pretty much what I got for you. That's my Foal Kit. If you think of anything that I didn't put in here, some people had said a headlamp. I have a flashlight on my phone, so I'm not worried about it. I also have great lighting in the barn, so I don't think I need a headlamp of any kind, because if needed, I'll turn the lights on. Other than that, that's really all I can think of right now. You're more than welcome to leave me a comment if you think of something I don't have that you think I should. And I don't know how long this video is because I can't see the timer, but if you stuck it out and you watch the entire thing, kudos to you. Thank you for being here. And you know, I'm excited to do this, and I'm terrified all at the same time, but I am excited to do it and to show you guys everything that happens and to take you all on the journey, because this has been like a 2-year process for me. And we are there, aren't we? Just about. A little bit longer to go, and we are there. So, okay. That's what I have for you.